Alright guys, welcome to the second part of my Florida dive trip. So that right there is Captain Aaron from the charter Spearoholic. He does some super cool charter trips, and he also does catch and cooks of your fish after the dive is done. So super cool guy, super knowledgeable of the waters. And right now what he's doing is a chumming technique called sandballing, I believe it's called. And basically you just take the chum and you mix it in with sand, and then you pack it up into a ball and throw it in the water. And the sand is to help, one, it creates a cloud in the water that kind of attracts fish, but also balling it up like that in the sand helps the chum to sink faster. So it sinks past all the tiny fish and it gets down to the bigger fish, down to the bottom faster. So that's something that he taught me that was pretty cool to learn. I've never seen anybody else do this, and I've never, of course, tried this myself, but it's pretty cool, pretty smart as well. So right after Captain Aaron chummed the water a little bit, we jumped in and I started taking a drop down to the bottom. This was in about 60 feet. We didn't go super deep this day. I think this was the deepest drop. And those fish, they look exactly like amberjack, but they're actually called rudderfish. And I can't remember, there's a slight difference in the jaw between rudderfish and amberjack. But these guys were rudderfish. And there's a huge school of them, as you'll see in a second here. And they all start kind of coming around. I threw up some sand in the air and wanted to shoot one of these to see what it kind of tasted like, and I saw that one was kind of bigger than the others, and I lined up, but my safety was on and I didn't notice. So I turn off my safety, pick a different one, and then put a shot in his gills. There were not as many sharks here as in my last video, so I didn't really have to, guard the fish or like grab my reel or anything. There wasn't any, there's hardly any sharks around. I think we only saw one bull shark this day. And so yeah, this is my first rudderfish. They look exactly just like baby amberjacks, but they are slightly different. The legal size for amberjack in Florida is actually like 30 something inches, I think, which is pretty big. And this is certainly not 30 something inches, but because it's a different species, they're okay to take. This is actually kind of as big as they get, or approximately. So on this drop, I don't shoot anything. I just kind of wanted to show the environment of Florida's reefs. And as you can see, there's a bunch of snappers around that look kind of like Ta'ape and Toa, but they're not exactly the same. And it was almost like seeing a Hawaiian reef just in an alternate universe, because it was so close to being the same, and yet there's just these slight differences. Those two fish that were right in front of me just then, those were hogfish, baby hogfish. They're out of season right now, but these guys were way too small to shoot anyway, even if it was season. But you can kind of see it's so close to being the same as a Hawaii reef, but it's not quite. So it was really odd and really cool, but you can see how much life is around. And that big angelfish that I just saw, right there, right in front of me. And there's nenues and stuff, so it's so similar but so different at the same time, and it was really a trip. After that, Captain Aaron, he grabbed a really nice sized lobster. The lobster in Florida are actually red, reddish orange, reddish brownish, but in Hawaii they're green, more green and black-ish. So on this drop, I didn't know that Aaron was dropping too. I was taking my drop, and then I looked up and saw him. But I decided, if he shoots something, I'll just be behind him to film him shooting whatever it is. And so I just finished the drop, and kind of just looking around, seeing if anything's coming around, and had a couple of the rudderfish. He looks behind and he sees me. He gives me a wave. I wave back, but it doesn't show up on camera. And you can see there's another rudderfish over there. And another one right there. And he's just waving a yellowjack that he shot earlier. Super funny guy, super cool guy to be around. And so I was seeing these rudder fish over here, and I was contemplating shooting them. So I look at Aaron, I point at them, he gives me the thumbs up. So then I turn my body to face them, line up on one of the rudder fish, and then pull the trigger. I was actually sitting down, like I was in a seated position on the rock that I was perched on when I shot this fish, so that was kind of funny. But yeah, second rudder fish. Super fun dive session with these guys. And the cook up after was mean. I'll show you guys that in a second. So on this drop, I also didn't shoot anything, but it was just a clip that I wanted to show you guys. It was kind of interesting. So I'm heading down to the bottom. I was taking a lot of just blind drops to see if I could bring anything in, because it was pretty shallow over here. It was only like 40 feet. So I didn't expect anything to come up or under me while I was on the surface. So I was just taking a lot of blind drops, trying to call stuff in. I took a drop next to this nice pile of boulders here, and right there in front of me is a nurse shark. And I've never seen one of those before. I don't know if they even live in Hawaii. But I saw him, so I was just kind of looking around, keeping an eye on him. He starts to come in right there, I assume because I was dusting. And while I was distracted by him, this guy shows up. Kind of scares me a little bit. I don't know if he was gonna try and bite me, or if he was just like, you know, drawn in by the dust that I was putting up in the air. But yeah. So after we spent some time out on the deeper reefs, we moved into the shallows at one of Aaron's lobster spots. This guy had spots all over this area that we were in. So super knowledgeable guy, really knows his area well. And we went diving for some lobster. This is one of his lobster spots, and I saw that one go under the rock. So I kind of poked him out into the open. And as he was in the open, I put the snare behind him and then locked it up. And that was my first lobster on a snare. First time using a lobster snare, which is really popular in Florida, but we don't use it here in Hawaii. Alright guys, we're back from the dive. Hit up a bunch of spots. Got this big lobster. That's the one that Captain Aaron got. This one is mine. Pretty much the same size. And then this is a rudder fish, and they look almost exactly like kahalas or amberjacks, but there's a slight difference in their jaw. Aaron just explained it to me, but I already forgot. And then this is a smaller one that I got, and then this is a yellow jack that Aaron shot. So another new species. I guess everything here is a new species actually. And then this is a yellowtail snapper. And he said that usually they don't come close enough to shoot, but got lucky today. So yeah.
You want to show them what happened to that shaft?
Oh yeah, yeah.
First fish of the day.
So we were originally going for Kubera, and it's a really big species of snapper. And Aaron put a shot in one, and it actually
40+ pounder.
Yeah, broke
my shaft in half.
More than half, I would say.
I gotta hurt my feelings, man.
But yeah, that was pretty crazy. I wish I had gotten a shot in one, but a bull shark came around after and kind of chased us out of the water. But it is what it is. But yeah, solid haul.
20-pound parrotfish, like the midnight parrots. They're purple.
Yeah.
And they're huge.
Oh, you're not allowed to kill parrotfish?
Not allowed to kill parrotfish.
Oh, interesting.
Right. This is if you're trying to save as much meat as you can on a lobster. You take your knife, run it on the inside of the shell, like this. Oh, and this one's got eggs. Look at that. So good to eat it.
Yeah, but it's that.
It was on the inside. How could you tell? There's nothing on the outside.
Why is it in the inside, by the way?
Because this is the time of year.
So back on the boat, Aaron started to prepare his pretty famous ceviche. He's really good at making this. It's absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
it's delicious, bro.
One of the best ways that I've eaten lobster. Just so much flavor in it, and he did it so quickly, and it just tasted amazing. And I'll just let you guys watch him prepare the lobster and then put the whole dish together.
Like, oh, that's a weird looking shark. Oh, wait a second, that's not a shark. The cobia is just laying there in the sand. Swim back to the boat, come back, he's still on the wreck, just sitting there in the sand.
So while the rest of this cook-up is playing out, I'm just gonna sign out on the video. So super solid crew, really fun dive. Spearoholic is the name of their charter, and I'll leave their Instagram down in the description below. So go check that out. They go on some super cool and fun adventures. And while we didn't shoot anything huge this dive, it was still a blast, and the ceviche turned out amazing, and overall just a great vibe from Captain Aaron and his wife Michelle that helps out with the whole dive process and cook-up process. So really great people, super fun to be around, and they know a ton of spots, so really cool people. So check out their Instagram, once again in the description. And that's all I got for you guys today. Shoots, everybody.